But welcome back to the MikiDz Podcast, episode 30. That's my favorite number.
Yeah.
Why?
It's my basketball number.
Gotcha.
Since I was a kid, you know. Yeah. And then we do have a special guest.
Oh, special as they come.
That's an understatement.
All the way.
Who did you get?
He's like
across the pond. Is that how that is? That the term?
That the correct term?
Yeah, across the pond.
Across the pond.
He hopped the pond.
What's the corny terms that with the?
That's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay. DJ Mojaxx.
Yes, sir. Wait. Do you still go by DJ Mojaxx?
No, just Mojaxx.
Okay, my bad.
Straight up,
Mojaxx, the artist.
We cleared it up.
That
for those
DJ
that don't
business
know.
at the start is like, yeah.
Right.
It's not you anymore.
That's limiting your brand.
Yeah.
DJcity's like, we'll pay you to not DJ anymore. Just focus on DJcity.
Yeah. That kind of is how it is, but that works for me.
Hell yeah.
We'll get onto that later, I think. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You were in town for a big convention.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of your bread and butter, I would say. And you have a lot of inside scoop for us. And, you know, we definitely had to have you on because we would have done a really shitty job of explaining all the cool things that were happening at the NAMM show. And so, yeah, man, thanks for coming by.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Fellas, how are we doing?
We're great.
I'm still breathing, man. I can't complain.
Yeah.
Rell, how was your weekend?
Man, my weekend was eventful. That's sort of say.
Let's talk about it.
Let's start it off. I spent the weekend in New York with the Hits Only team. A little retreat.
Oh, yeah.
That was dope.
Great shot.
Got back Friday. Landed at Friday.
Cross country.
Huh?
Cross country.
Yeah. You know, I had to go see the fam real quick. Landed Friday night and then did Friday night from the airport. Just went home, went to the crib, dropped the bags off, went straight to my gig at where the fuck was
Derriere.
Derriere. Correct.
Derriere.
Derriere.
Yeah.
Real quick, I had to ask what the correct way to say it. Okay. And I asked someone and I was like, is it really Derriere? And they were like, yeah, it is. And I was like, okay. I mean, that
was Friday night?
It's Friday night, correct.
So that was Supreme Team?
That was Supreme Team.
Okay.
Shout out DJ Bad, all those guys. So that night, Saturday, did Tribe with Night Train.
Tight.
Afternoon.
We're over with Night Train after 2 episodes.
Man.
Canceled.
I'm going to edit this out.
So, Tribe with Night Train early afternoon. Mid-afternoon, I had a private event. And then Saturday night, I opened up for Miki at Avenue.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, I was doing Sunset Shore Bar with Night Train again.
Man.
Right.
So I had a full weekend.
Start charging that dude for all these
Man,
shout-outs.
listen.
Yeah, man. Tell him to get off your dick. Jesus.
All right, hey, listen, Night Train, I appreciate you, brother.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you. I appreciate
Omar.
you. All the work you sending my way, man, keep sending it.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, my weekend was good, man. Eventful. All the gigs went well. I had a good time.
Right. I was in Miami. And Fort Lauderdale.
Big week.
Yeah, you know, it hit me when I was out there. It's like we go to a lot. Well, I go to a lot of big cities, and I get a vibe of what's going on, and I know who's who and what's what. But I haven't been to Miami since 2016, and it was really eye opening. First and foremost, shout out to DJ Kaz, our DJcity rep out there.
That's how we secure bookings on this podcast. Yeah, just shout out to
DJ Kaz because and Chisel. Chisel, he let me crash at his crib in Fort Lauderdale.
He's the one that left you a drink.
Chisel left me a Quest bar and a body armor drink.
I was going to check him for, treating my significant partner so well, but, I'll leave that.
He took care of me. No, he left me set up really nice. He got a really nice crib. But yeah, big ups to those guys. But Kaz, man, he showed me around. I can't think of anybody better or anybody else that can break it down like him. He broke the city down extremely well, told me who's who, what's what. Miami, and excuse me if I sound ignorant, but Miami is more than just 11, Live, and Story.
Well, more than South Beach.
Yeah. Wynwood, which is where I spun at Wood Tavern with Kaz. And Kaz is like, man, don't worry about playing that commercial stuff. Just do what you love to do. They love freestyle out here, the Latin stuff. They love the 90s house. Like you can really get into, 2000s, 90s hip hop. Just do what you want. It's a patio. People smoke weed and they drink. And it's like, I forgot to take a picture of it. There's a big sign lit up that says no request. My man Kaz, he's so cold. some guy comes up requesting a song and Kaz doesn't say a word. He just like does like shakes his finger no and points at the sign. And then the guy's like, oh shit, my bad, bro. My bad, respect. And Kaz just kept it going. He was like, man, fuck that shit, man. They act like they don't see that sign. So Kaz is a gangster. But so yeah, I had a great time preparing for that set because I can't remember the last time I had a freestyle set or had freestyle in my set like that. Or was given the freedom to do that, not just like tease it. But so I did that. And man, they have to be one of the most, and again, I might be ignorant, but they have to, Miami and that whole scene has to be one of the most underrated scene for being able to play diverse music. And what I mean by that is, I guess I don't think they get the credit they deserve because they have so many different cultures along with the tourists that come in. And they have to cover a lot of different music if they so choose to. Obviously, the booty bass stuff is in their blood. It's like playing Mustard in LA. So they can play that whenever they want. But I was really intrigued and fascinated with what I saw, what I experienced. And again, Kaz had me bouncing around, seeing a lot of different things. Obviously, the South Beach scene is way different than the Wynwood scene. Wynwood scene, you got like, there's a spot called Wharf. Fucking ill as fuck, and it's just like a really spread out venue, and you got cornhole, and you got the grass turf. It's just a really, really dope scene, and they got an even bigger one in Fort Lauderdale, and that shit was filled to the rim. And you know who performed? You know who had a guest performance there?
Who?
Antonio Brown. So Antonio Brown performed his #1 hit. I Got a Whole Lot of Money. Is that what it's called?
His only hit?
Antonio Brown was just chilling, and all of a sudden, Kaz and I are talking. We just hear, I got a whole lot of money. Hey, all right, performance time. So he apparently he's just running around Florida, just spending money and fucking buying bottles. I guess he's always at Dare. He spends a lot of money at Dare. But so yeah, I appreciate Kaz, and then I did Kaz and DJ Zaya's MIA radio podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
that was dope. Shout out to them, man.
Yeah. It's mostly they stay focused on Miami, and then they bring guys in and they have the guys give their perspective on Miami or what they think or what they know. But they I think it's my first podcast I've ever done. So for those that want to hear a shorter, because talking about the LMFAO days and Redfoo, all that can go on for hours, and there could be hundreds of questions because of his history. But I gave the shortest version I could on that podcast of my connection with them and my story. So if you're interested in that, go check out MIA Radio.
How did the MikiDz Show kind of came about?
I broke down the MikiDz Show, the evolution.
MikiDz Show.
Yeah. Zaya called it the MikiWAR show. And I was like,
I cringe, and that's me. I was like, no.
Mickey's listening and texts me like, damn, that was kind of cringeworthy. And I said, you know what? And I didn't want to snap back, and I'm like, MikiDz. It's MikiDz, not MikiWAR.
Get your shit together.
Yeah, no, but those guys are great. I appreciate the hospitality. And and then I went to Dare, and I'm bringing this up because Jason Weiss was there, who also in charge of the Double Down agency out in Philly, and he opened and closed for Hollywood, DJ Hollywood out in Dare, South Florida. And the first thing he said to me, well, he mentioned the podcast and showed us a lot of love and respect. And I'm thinking, and for whatever reason, I'm thinking, this guy's an OG. He's been doing it much longer than me. And I think there's clearly a lot of guys that have been doing it longer than us. Mm-hmm. And it made me think like, this is really dope that there are OGs out there that listen to our podcast. Cause I don't know what you two think, but I kind of have the chalked up in my head that the OGs to some degree see us a little below them, or just not at their whatever level. So I don't know if they listen to our podcast, like not counting you, Mojaxx. I don't know if they listen to our podcast like that, but I've always seen our podcast for the uninformed and just the newer DJs. So they have some education on moving forward with their craft and what they're doing. So this guy, along with, what's his name? Audio One. I was talking to Audio One today, and a guy has been doing it for like 30 years, and he's he listens to us with a pen and pad, which is really, really dope to hear.
I'm going to jump in. I think your assumption is fundamentally wrong, because those who've been in the game that long are in the game because they love DJing, they love DJ culture. Those are the people who are going to listen to a podcast about DJ life.
Yeah,
I think that's something that's really become apparent to me as I've got older and got to know people in the DJ community. Like, the longer you DJ for, the more it demonstrates how much you love it. And you're going to consume content like this podcast. Like, you're going to be all about it because,
right. Well, I hope they do.
It's fascinating to you. Like,
I hope they do, you know? Yeah. And, so yeah, shout out to those guys. But, Dare in Fort Lauderdale is amazing. Shout out to Zach Seidman. Just a real A1 guy in this business. And hopefully we'll be doing business with him sooner or later.
Hey. We're all in.
Well, yeah, we're with it. And I think that wraps up my Miami breakdown. But I really wanted to show love to those guys because I thoroughly enjoyed that trip and hanging out with all those DJs and connecting with them.
Yeah, it was dope to kind of follow everywhere you're bouncing around. You were covering a lot of ground out there, and we followed, of course, through the stories, and then listening to the podcast. It's beyond our rotation that we have. Podcasts, sometimes it's hard to get into it, but listening to their pod, definitely go check them out. I think it's MIA Radio, right?
MIA Radio, yep.
So go check that out. It's a great episode. I'm sure the rest of their episodes are great as well. Mm-hmm. I'll cover my stuff real quick to link us back up to Mojaxx. Sorry for you got to listen to all our nonsense here. But this last weekend, just had I was at Avenue on Saturday night. Shout out to Rell, who the man knows just how to set things up and get a room kind of ready. Give him his flowers.
Hey man, I try.
We actually spent a lot of time. The week before, we were in San Diego as well.
Yeah, we were.
When I was at Sidebar, and
that was fun.
Yeah, it was a wild, fun night. But it's I don't know. I guess just to summarize everything, like I've really started to feel. I took this hiatus from DJing for a couple years, and I always kind of felt really comfortable. And then when I took that break, it was trying to get back on the bike just felt weird with music and crates and moving around fast enough. And I think I can finally confidently say I feel like I'm back on the bike and I'm feeling really comfortable, busting out some tricks. And hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. But, with the combination of just getting accustomed to the LA culture and bottle service and everything else, being on a mic and just I don't know, flying through records. It's fun now. It's fun again. And I had a great time at Avenue.
My buddy Hector was there from high school.
Was he?
Yeah, he said you killed it. He tagged you. He's like, yo, I'm at Avenue. Mickey's killing it. He had a tape going on. Yeah.
I gotta check those tags. Might have missed it. Yeah, even shout out to Dirty Dross, who's been working. Yeah, social group's been working with Avenue a little more now.
He came Thursday.
He came over early.
Thursdays, he was there on Saturday as well. And an unwanted, not requested, I should say, text. He just sent it. I was like, dude, he's like, you're smoking it. It's great job. And I'm just like, that obviously your peers being able to tell you something, it means the most. So had a great time. Went to go catch up with the fellas at Shore. Was it Shore Bar?
Shore Bar in
Santa Monica. That spot's really dope.
Man,
it's low key.
I love that
right
spot.
next to the beach.
I love that spot.
But the spot
That's
is super
H-Wood?
cool. Yeah, it's H-Wood property. Yeah, so they're killing it. Really sexy spot. And then other than that, I did make my way over to NAMM. The NAMM show on Thursday was the first time I was there. Caught up with the whole DJcity Beat Source crew. And caught a couple of the performances. Shout out to Trentino, who murdered it at the Pioneer booth.
He's probably one of the best dudes on CDJs.
Oh my God,
I've ever seen.
I mean, he could play on whatever.
He can play
for
anything,
sure.
But the way he can do on CDJs, I'm just Jesus.
Yeah, his performance was nuts. Shout out to Pioneer DJ. They had this whole setup that, from what I'm hearing, it was somewhere north of $250,000 in just the build out. Not including the real estate. It was pretty ridiculous.
Jesus.
All the LED screens across the place and obviously all the setups going on at the same time. It was really cool. Shout out to Stokio. I think they were actually the reason why some of us even got in. That's my badge set at least. And Big Once, Kid Cut Up, You know, those guys. And man, I will say this. There was a ton of DJs of all experience levels who did come up to me and show love for the pod.
Hey now.
So respect to them, mad love to them. That really is, you know, similar to your sets, knowing that they're willing to tolerate our nonsense and our relationship and our conversations is like, that's the biggest compliment of all. So if they're willing to listen to us, great. And then, of course, there were some dope things introduced and features. But as we said, there's no way I'm going to cover that the way our man Mojaxx.
Mo, you can just, we're going to take off. You can just sit there on the mic and just take it from here. We'll be back. We're going to go get something to eat.
Yeah, I haven't done my wrap-up video yet. So
okay. All right. So this is exclusive content.
Skills, wrap up.
Well, yeah, let us.
I'll do it in verse. Let's rock.
All right. How did you feel about NAMM?
Were you at NAMM every day this week?
Every day.
Okay.
Every day.
That's what they paid him to be out here for.
The thing is, I hate trade shows for what they are, because basically they are trade shows. They are there so that retailers can go and meet the manufacturers, see what's up for the new year, what's coming out, what do I need to order, and all that. That's basically what it's all about. But NAMM, it was my first time going to NAMM, never been before. And I was there basically just to connect with people I've never met in person, people I've only ever spoken to on email.
How many people asked to take a picture with you?
It was a lot. It was a lot. Like that's the only place on earth where you're any kind really of celebrity. Famous. Like I am quite well known in the DJ world. And it's really heartening to get that, like you said, you know, to get that feedback and people to know that people are enjoying what you're doing and they're getting value out of what you're doing. That is truly like humbling and amazing. So that was cool. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing. Like it's not really like something I'm used to. And I've taken a long time to develop my selfie pose that I've got now. I have to do a certain angle to like minimize the chin. I'm like this.
Make sure you get my good side.
Yeah, it has to be a certain angle. So every selfie you see with me in it, I'm like, got this like angle going on. But
look at you, you're a model. Look at you.
America's Next Top DJ Model.
Sponsored by Smirnoff.
I didn't see any performances.
Okay.
I didn't see Trentino. I was really looking forward to seeing Trentino. I've never seen him play live. Was so looking forward to that. Kid Cut Up had like a modular synth he was bringing down. Was really looking forward to that. Big Once I've never seen him play.
I thought he was playing Operator, my bad.
I didn't see any performances, I don't think, at all. Not a single thing, which was really disappointing because there was so much talent in that space. And the thing with the NAMM show, one of the things that kind of put into context for me was that in the grand scheme of things, in the music industry, DJing is nothing. It is nothing. Like, there was about 40 square feet of that show, which was DJ stuff. And the rest of it, you know, the 50,000 square feet was like ukuleles and guitar picks.
That was just one hall.
Yeah, just the one hall.
There was like a whole other
hall of PA
other
stuff.
Things.
Like literally, DJing is such a small niche.
Right.
And I sometimes look at some of the channels who are, I won't say competition, some of the channels who I'm totally cool with, like we hang out and stuff like Digital DJ Tips, and I'm like, why don't we all collectively have bigger subscriber numbers? You know, why do people doing like dirt jump mountain biking videos get way more than we do, like orders of magnitude bigger numbers? It's actually because DJing is a pretty small niche in the world, small in the world of music, and it's outside. You know, what we do is incredibly valuable, and I never, you know, DJing is literally my life. That was what I was born to do. But yeah, in the scheme of things, it's good to have a bit of perspective.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot more going on in music than just DJ stuff, because that's my obsession. I'm all about that all the time. It's like, actually, no. You know, there's a lot more people playing drums than there are DJs out there.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's important for us to humanize this podcast too, because if we strictly just talked about DJ stuff, like we would lose on a large amount of crowd that now can listen to us and say, oh, they're just regular dudes, right?
Yeah.
Just hang out together. So
no, absolutely. So yeah, it was cool to be there. I mean, by the fourth day, I literally didn't know what day it was. Yesterday, I came back because yesterday was Sunday, right? So
correct.
Monday, we're recording.
Yeah,
in
recording
America,
on Monday.
I literally don't know. So yeah, Sunday, I went and sort of just did the last few bits of footage, forgot to take a really important product away that I was supposed to take away. And then I also left my like camera slider. I've got this like powered slider thing, which is super dope. And I left it there in Anaheim.
Damn.
Where?
Ended up back in LA. So that was in Anaheim. on someone's booth.
Okay.
Like I left it there. And then I had to get an Uber back from LA to Anaheim at like 11 p.m. last night.
Hell no.
And pick up this thing at the guy's hotel and jump straight in the same Uber back to LA again. That was a mission. Like that's how bad it was. I forgot this really like quite expensive bit of kit. Right. Just left it there. So yeah, I was done with NAMM by like yesterday. But it was great to meet all the people, great to connect with people. I connected with people like Babu, which was mind-blowing. Like he comes over, he's like, hey Mojaxx, what's up? I'm like, Babu knows who I am. My mind was that emoji with the exploding brain. That was literally my head at that moment. And then today I've been to the Beat Junkie school, which is incredible. Like what they're doing there for the culture is next level education. It's incredible. And like, so that's what this kind of trip is all about. And that's why I probably won't go to NAMM every year now. I think I'll probably give it a miss next year, but then the year after I'll come back and just kind of reconnect with everybody. So it's if you're a DJ and you live in an accessible area to get to NAMM, I absolutely suggest that you do. Like if it's like an hour's drive or even like 2 hours drive or something. If you have to fly across the ocean to get there, I wouldn't bother. It's too much. There's not enough there for you. But if you're close enough, you can get to it. The sense of community there, like the Stokio booth next to the Beat Junkies and Jetpack booth. And then you've got the Inner Fader booth with 12-inch skins and Infinity Faders, all these kind of companies, and the Phase ones over there. It's all so close in this one little area that actually, there's just like this kind of little DJ space going down, and it was very cool. Like, it was a great place to be.
You know, one thing I noticed, and you can kind of reassure me on this or not, but it felt like if you didn't get a performance or performer, you really missed the boat on the exposure that you could get. Because I saw a lot of videos also, you know, on Instagram, social media, and different things because they wanted to capture those moments. And a lot of places I saw that were just kind of like showing the product. I get that the goal is more to sell the product than it is to have it just show up on the gram, if you will. But it just felt a little kind of like dead if you wouldn't have somebody involved with whatever was going on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there were many stands that didn't have people performing. I think, you know, the majority did, and it is part of that. People want to see the performances. You know, even if you're a guy who's coming from Guitar Center in Kansas to see what he's going to stock in his branch of Guitar Center, he's not that fussed about the performances. But when you've got people stood around watching, you know, like Rob Swift and people like that, that's value for any brand. And it is really powerful to see that, you know, that equipment or just that stuff being used. And you see some amazing stuff on like the Pioneer booth. I mean, it's funny because I've only ever been to European trade shows where the Pioneer DJ booth is just straight up house music. You might have like one guy playing UK garage or one guy playing drum and bass, but basically it's all house and techno the whole time. But over here, the Pioneer DJ booth, loads of like more open format kind of vibes, three-style kind of feels to it. And it's interesting because those performances, they do book them for the audience at the show. They don't book them for the socials. They book them for the people who are there. And also they were expecting a lot of, you know, people with wider taste to be at the NAMM show. I think that reflects well on the NAMM show that, it's not just about one kind of music and one style. So
I imagine just from a networking perspective, it would have been worth the trip for a lot of these guys that don't live in LA. And it's like, I understand what you're saying about probably not worth making the long trip to see all the equipment, but you know, out here in America, well, let me just specify, in LA, one of the biggest networking opportunities or just connecting with DJs used to be the Scam Christmas party. I didn't even realize it. I don't even think they had one this past Christmas, right?
You weren't invited.
No, but usually for damn sure wasn't invited. I never am.
Yeah, it was the best one ever. But
I'm totally joking, by the way.
No, but I didn't see anything. You know,
no, yeah, I think they did have something, but it wasn't like
it wasn't blown.
It wasn't broadcast
the same way.
Okay.
Yeah, that it passed.
So my point is, it's rare you get opportunities to network with other DJs, and the other big opportunities like just going to Vegas and, you know, hopping around and connecting. There's usually a handful of DJs in Vegas that aren't DJing, just hanging out.
DJcity's doing a link up.
Or DJ, now DJcity's got the link ups. But still, I imagine it would be worth just going to meet all these different DJs that you look up to or that you are actually kind of cool with.
Yeah, there's like a melting pot, right? And there's not year-round opportunities to be able to like connect with everyone, or if you will, you know, directly being able to go see the Beat Junkies, Rob Swift, Craze, A-Track, you know, shout out to Lazy Boy, who just won 3 Style US, and then you got Miles Medina and J.S. Minoz and all these guys, and you literally can go, there's so much talent. Like, I don't think there's many places you'd run it, huh?
It looked like it.
Like, but it's crazy because like there was like moments, and it's not to throw shade, right? But it's just because there's just so much going on. Like I remember like Ease jumping on at the Phase booth, and then like it's just literally him just DJing, and like there was once like a huge crowd, and then there's like no crowd, and it, depending on where it was, just because there was so many different things going on.
Yeah,
and in such a small amount of space, literally like you were.
Yeah, if it had been spread across the whole show floor, it would not have been as valuable. I don't know if that was a deliberate decision by the people who organised the show, or if it was something where the people who booked the booths decided to put them all in a certain place. But there was a lot of value in having all the DJ stuff in this kind of, like the first 2 days, I probably didn't leave that 50 square foot area.
Yeah.
I was just there the whole time.
How dope is it though that you have all these DJs, I'm assuming they're getting paid, but all these DJs getting paid to showcase. Mm-hmm. It's kind of on a much smaller degree, it kind of reminds me of a festival with different stages. I think if NAMM were to coordinate with the booths and say, look, you're going to have I don't care who it is, you're going to have your guy go on at 6, then you're going to get your guy at 6:30. So you can see it all. Like, wouldn't that be sick?
This is the thing. I kind of feel like what the DJ related companies are trying to do is actually kind of against the spirit of NAMM, because there are very strict rules about how loud you can play music and so on. I saw one booth. It was over more in the lighting section. They were like, there was a sign in there on it that said, this booth has been shut down for repeated noise violations. And then someone had got a Sharpie and put, by our neighbours underneath. Like there was clearly some beef gone on. And there's 2 lighting stands to this day, but one of them had been literally ejected from the show. Yeah. So I don't think NAMM are even interested in having performances. They'd rather you didn't. I think that's the impression. I don't know, but that's the impression that I get is they're really not down for that. And I think if some of those booths, like the Stokio booth, had been in a different part of the show, they might have had some issues because they were making quite a lot of noise pretty much the whole week. I'm not sure. Again, it's trade. I don't like trade. I love connecting with other DJs. I love that opportunity. That's why I love the DJcity link ups. Every single one I've been to around the world has been amazing. I just don't like trade shows. I don't like that environment very much. I'd rather have a link up kind of environment. That makes me more comfortable. But it's all there for, you're there for business. That's what it's all about, really.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to, so out of all the 4 days that you were there, I'm sure you were there from start to finish. How many products did you actually get to check out?
First day, I was kind of focused on the Phase thing because that was the thing that excited me the most. I mean, this is the thing I kind of sort of cheated this year because, I cheated because I was in Miami.
Yeah.
Over the weekend prior to NAMM, I went to Fort Lauderdale to get wined and dined by In Music, who have Denon DJ, Rain, Newmark, and all these other brands. And myself and all these other YouTube creators all went and hung out in Fort Lauderdale. And luckily they didn't make us go and explore the nightlife. They were like, do what you want, just chill. I'm sure if we wanted to go party at Live or something, we could have done, but they were like, no, do what you want. And we were working like 16-hour days.
Sheesh.
Well, I was trying to get videos cut. Like some of the guys they do it in a more time efficient way than me, but I like all my fancy B-roll and that shit takes time. So I was up till like 2 a.m. editing every night. But so I was there. And so actually the really big releases of the show, of the NAMM show, I'd already locked off videos out the door before I even got to NAMM. Yeah. The Denon stuff, the new Rain mixer, that was the big news of the show. And that was, I'd done it. So actually when it came to new stuff there was, the Phase Serato thing, which we can get into maybe a bit later on in a bit more detail. There was the new Pioneer mixer, which is very kind of house and techno orientated. Like personally, I think it's really dope.
The 6-channel,
big rotary isolator, loads of ways of working with effects. It's a really exciting product. It's like $3,100, something like that, which is not completely
2 pairs of shoes.
Insane, it's like 1.5 pairs of shoes in here.
Couple Cactus Jacks.
So it's not too bad, but it's not really for our audience necessarily, but it's certainly something that I'll be very interested to check out later on. Unfortunately, something went wrong with I didn't get a unit beforehand to like do a preview video or anything, so I haven't been able to cover it in detail, but I definitely will because I think it's dope. But yeah, the actual big stuff I'd already covered, already done and dusted, and yeah. So
wait, that you've already posted that one?
Yeah, all the rain stuff, I did 1.5 videos a day for like 4 days. Like,
so let me ask you this though: when do you think it'll affect the search of those products that you covered in Fort Lauderdale? Because if people are gonna say, I want to see what happened at NAMM, they're gonna put in NAMM and they're gonna see those products reviewed, as opposed to seeing what you already covered a week before.
No, because that stuff was there as well, and like they did it well, so they had like Craze come through, and perform in their, on the Rain at the Big Junkies booth and in the Rain place, and they had A-Track come through and perform in the Rain place.
Yeah.
So my wrap up video is going to have footage that I haven't put out yet of Craze and A-Track rocking on that new Rain mixer. So
nice.
They know what they're doing. This in music company, they are really good people. They really care. Like there's some guys who go back 30 years in the game, like this guy Chris Roman, who's in charge of the Rain project. Now they kind of bought out Rain a few years ago. They go back. They know what they're doing, but they are good people and they care about the culture. Like they really do. So I think that momentum carries on because there was nothing else to like blow it away. There was no big sudden reveal. I mean, that's the game though, in the PR game. Like generally when Pioneer DJ drops something massive, they'll drop it before a big trade show, like a week before, to get all that hype out of the way.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's like everything else at the show seems a bit like an afterthought, not quite as exciting. So I stand to practice now. And they certainly did well by getting us all down there. They had content going out every day from like 6 different channels.
Dope.
And DJ Magazine and Resident Advisor and all of these different markets all getting hit in one hit. You can't, I mean, they did pay for it obviously because they paid to have us in Miami, but that's the kind of PR that's what they were looking for and that's what they got. And it deservedly so because the products are really good. But as always, I will hold off my judgment until I've actually played with that stuff. It's why my stuff is always a first look video. If I've only just played with it, it's a first look. I can't review something I've only spent an hour with.
You just have a bunch of equipment at your house?
I'm sure you probably have storage.
You flipping all this shit? Like,
no, there is this kind of myth that I get to keep all this stuff, and I generally don't. Like most of it goes back after like 90 days.
So Pioneer will say, hey, we got this new product. We want you to do
a review on it.
Okay.
And so generally I'll do, if it's an important product, I'll do a first look. Then I'll keep it around for like a couple of months, really get to know it, take it out to gigs if I possibly can, unless it's like a giant controller or something, I'll generally take it out and then it'll go back.
Do you have any like a prized product? Like if there was like, I don't know, a mixer that you like kissed goodnight every night?
I have a Yuri 1620, the old rotary mixer from like the late 70s, early 80s, the big 19-inch, just knobs, nothing else.
Yeah.
And that was quite big in like New York disco scene, that kind of stuff. And I have the mid-90s reissue version of that, which is not quite as valuable as the original. And I deeply love that, but I never use it because when I actually DJ, even if I'm playing house, I want a crossfader, I want an echo, that's just how I play. But as an object, it's the most beautiful, like 70s aesthetic, big, it looks like a tank, like it's just a beautiful thing. So I love that. And on the other hand, and this is like my little kind of secret piece, the DJM 2000, Pioneer DJM 2000, which everybody hates. It's that one that looks like a spaceship. It's got the screen in the middle.
Yeah.
Everyone hates that mixer because they don't know how to use it. Like no one's ever taught them how.
Right.
But when you're doing record box, you're playing on the CDJs, which is just with USB sticks, and it's all linked in together. Like that central screen, you can get a loop going off of one channel, off one deck. Loop, it's fully synced up. You just loop it up, and then you can chop that loop up on the fly to like do the snare, to do whatever you want. Record you chopping it up, and then send it to another channel. And it's synced up with the one that's playing originally. So basically you're running like 3 decks. If you've got 3 decks going, you're running 4 decks. It is fire.
Have you seen anybody body that live?
Yeah, Eric Murillo. From Real to Real. Like that was his mixer of choice for the longest time.
Right.
He murders that mixer every time. Like it's, that's my like little secret love is the DJM 2000 because no one likes it. But
You have one of those at the
crib?
crib?
I got that one. I bought
that. In the
both of those I bought. Like, that's the thing. I didn't get either of those hooked up. I bought both of those just because I used them and kind of fell in love with them.
Yeah.
You know, but that's, yeah.
I just want somebody to describe me like he just described his last two products.
After your weekend in Fort Lauderdale, after your weekend at NAMM, I know you didn't have a lot of time to really like experience these new products or whatever. But what is the number one product that you're looking forward to reviewing and checking out?
We'll come back to the phase, right? The phase thing. Quite famously, my review of phase, it took me a long time to do. I got a set like the week before everyone got theirs because, you know, I did the pre-order thing, right? So everyone put their money down.
And everything.
Right. Everyone was waiting. Phase could not wait. They could not hold that thing off. They had to give people what they'd paid for because people had paid money for that. Yeah. And they dropped it and it turned up and it was hot garbage. And it was like, this is dreadful. Like, I can't review this. Because basically, if something, we curse on here, right?
Sure.
If something's like complete shit, I don't review it because I don't want to put that negative vibe out in the world. I'd rather just review good stuff. So anything you see on my channel.
So do you tell them like, hey, I just can't do. I can't. I don't.
And I'll
like
just send it back or whatever, like anything like that. And because so there's not enough time for that. I'd rather just review stuff that's good. And so anything you see me reviewing, it's got some good positive stuff about it. But phase, in that first moment when I plugged it in, I was like, no one should buy this. This is shit. But the good thing, I knew the people behind it. I'd been to their office. We did a first look on DJcity. On the other hand, I'm like, if this is complete shit, not only that makes me look bad because I kind of went and co-signed this when it was a prototype. And now I'm going to have to say it's shit. That just looks terrible. And so I was going back and forth with the guys in France, and then they came with new firmware and it got a bit better. And then they came slowly with more firmware and it got a bit better. And so it took me like 3 months and I was testing it all the time, gigging with it all the time, feeding back to them like what was working, what wasn't. I was trying beta versions of firmware, all this kind of stuff. And it's like, it got to the point where I could review it and I could say, look, this is not for everybody. If you want something that works every time, like I keep saying this, the Anchorman, the Sex Panther thing, 60% of the time, it works every time. Right? And that was phase. That was it at that point. It was still at that stage where literally 40% of the time you could not trust it. And batteries would do weird stuff and it wouldn't work properly. And it kept going into internal mode in Serato and it was just a problem. But when it worked, it was like witchcraft. It was like the hotness, like just like magic. And it, to be honest, because again, we might come around to this, but the last few years, I've gone two ways with technology. I've either been playing off a USB stick, an SD card, no laptop, or 45s. That's my two things I've been doing for the last few years. 2019, as soon as phase turned up to me in like, I don't know, March or whenever it was, I played on Serato and turntables the whole year. Like literally, New Year's Eve was my last gig, turntables and Serato with phase. Because it got me back on that whole Serato thing.
Nice.
Like this is why. So this development is phase are now in partnership with Serato, and it's going to be basically like the Rain 12s. It's going to be internal mode, so you don't use the DVS control signal. It's going to be reading phase as if it's a MIDI controller, and so it should, in theory, make everything super tight, lower the latency down. Hopefully, it will help with the drift because there's a bit of cue point drift with it as well. Hopefully, that's going to improve, and they're going to be able to do other cool stuff like maybe, I don't know, like send the color of your current cue point to the phase. So the LED on top, this kind of stuff. That's where the potential starts. And I've been publicly and privately saying to Serato, please like work with these guys, make this happen. Because if it's got me using Serato again all year after not really using it very much at all, then that's got to be good for Serato.
Absolutely.
So, and I don't know the numbers, but my guess is like 80% of people who use phase are Serato users. So it just, and I'm sure they could do the same kind of thing with Rekordbox and Traktor later on. But for me, it's going to help keep people on Serato, help new people come to Serato, because when it does work, it is magic. So if it can work 95% of the time, I'm totally good.
All the time?
You know, but what came out of my review was I was not negative. I was hopeful for it. I was like, look, I know these guys are going to get it better. They're going to make it work. But it was still like, if you don't want to mess with stuff and be like a tester, don't buy it right now. And phase shared that. They cross-posted that. They put it on all their socials.
You gotta respect that.
And you got to respect that. Like they were basically saying, yeah, we know. Hands up. Like Mojaxx is not talking shit. Like we agree and we feel like that too. And they got a lot of respect for reposting that. A lot of and deservedly so, because not a lot of companies would have done so. And so I think that's put them in good stead. And I really hope it comes off and becomes the stable product that it should, because as I say, when it works, it's like.
So let me ask you, is it just a new, so let's say I have the phases now.
Yeah.
Are they just releasing a new firmware to allow
everybody gets it for free?
So it's not like a new whole thing you got to get?
Though, if they'd done that, if they'd have made you buy a new one to use this update, I would have ended them. You done. Like, you out.
You don't change your jersey number as soon as you join.
I actually said that in my review as well. I said, look, if they don't fix this hardware right now, then they are done in the industry, because no one would ever trust them again.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so they had to do it, and they've done it. They've done it. Well, it hasn't come out yet. It will. But, they're sticking to that. They're keeping that original hardware going. If you bought it, if you pre-ordered it a year before it came out, you get the update. If you buy it tomorrow, you get the update. It's like upgrade. You get the update. You get the update. Everyone gets the update.
When are they? When they're looking to release the new update?
It could take a while. Okay. They're pretty slow. Yeah, but I'd rather they were slow
take their time.
Right. Yeah, and work with Serato closely. And Serato are not always the quickest to release things either. So, as I say, right now for me, I use it loads. It works great, nearly all the time now. The last update before Christmas was a big improvement. So. In general, it's got a lot better, and I'm hopeful by the middle of this year we'll have this Serato integration in there, and it's going to be super tight, and it's just going to,
And the big difference now is you're getting rid of the RCA cables.
No cables.
No cables.
USB straight into your computer. Yeah. That's it.
Beautiful.
And the only thing you're kind of noticing, you're saying, is the drifting.
Well, there's always drift. I think it might. I don't know. It might just be the nature of the technology that you'll always get a little bit of cue point drift. It might be. It might be that it's fixable with Serato. I don't know. But my suspicion is the way that it works, it's never going to be 100% locked in there. So I think maybe for like beat juggling and stuff like that, which it may never be the dream. But for club sets, I mean, already for me, for club sets, it's the jam, because you don't have to worry about bad connections in the tone arm. You don't have to worry about bad RCAs. Right. The only thing you worry about, does the motor spin? Is the pitch control good? Right. That's it. That's all you need to worry about right now, this minute. So that makes a big difference, especially like in the UK, where we are 90%, 95% CDJs everywhere. Right. There's no turntables in British clubs. None. Yeah. So if you're getting turntables, you're pulling them out of a closet all dusty, like blowing the top. And you hope those things work. And they've got like 3 feet most of the time. So you've got like wedging like stuff underneath the other foot to just make it level and stuff. Right. That's the state of turntables in the UK, because we just don't have them anymore. Man. And when you put them in the booth is designed for CDJs, so it's like flexing like this. Right. So that, for me as someone who loves to use turntables still, it's a really nice.
Me and Rell had a funny convo actually before Avenue, and he actually gave me the option, because it's funny, I seen the video of Avenue Friday night, and I saw turntable set up. Shout out to Demon Lucian, I think, who was playing, and he was like, yo, do you want to play on turntables or you want to play on CDJs? And I'm like, well, I don't have my stuff on me because I'm so naturally used to CDJs now, but I'm like, man, I would love to just play on some turntables. But I'm like, nah, it's easier to just be on some CDJs.
Because of it, it was just easier. And I mean, I've gotten lucky. The gig that I did on Friday, they usually have CDJs on. Sound guy texted me before my gig, and he's like, listen, I got turntables for you in an S9. I said, oh shit. When I used the phases, we used the phases. Me and the other DJ used the phases, and they worked flawlessly all night. Nice. They were great, because and it helps when you do spots like that, because of the sub making the vibration with the needles and shit. It just doesn't blend well. But when you got those phases, man, they're crisp.
And the confetti.
Well, ultimately, my reason for not doing turntables was, I'm gonna have some girls in the DJ booth. So
and their fog machine is heavy. So that fog machine is heavy in that booth. That definitely would have affected the needles.
They don't
priorities.
So I'm thinking about the sound, man.
Were there any MIDI controllers that jumped out? Or?
No, there wasn't much new.
Really?
I think like Reloop had nothing new. Wow. Nothing at all new. They had loads of stuff, but nothing new.
There goes that sponsor.
The Phase booth, was it packed all?
Phase booth was popping the whole time.
Yeah.
Because they actually had a really early version of that you could try.
Yeah.
The new firmware. Like it's
How many
totally
setups did they have?
They had like 2 setups that you could try with that.
Yeah, to the side while somebody was.
And that was really good. So that was dope. But yeah, there was nothing. Pioneer just had the mixer. That was all they had.
What about Denon?
Denon, it was all about Denon DJ, which we'd already seen. And they had the little Prime Go, which is like the coolest little thing.
It's like, the controller with the screen?
Yeah, it's like a little rectangular thing. And it has 2 very small jog wheels, like kind of tiny. You're not going to be cutting on this thing. But it's got all the power of like the big Prime 4. It's got like the same CPU and stuff in it.
It's like battery powered too, right?
And it's battery powered, runs for like 4.5 hours on battery.
Yeah.
And we had it in Fort Lauderdale around the pool, like everyone just kind of sitting there.
Dope.
They had some wireless stuff going on to the speakers, and we were literally just playing tracks from Tidal, just streaming. So no one needed a USB stick, and we were all just jamming out on it.
And that's on the Denon?
That's the Denon
so
DJ.
Can you, because DJ Beat Source is linked up with that, correct?
Yeah, that's going to be in all of that Denon DJ stuff. We're going to have the Beat Source streaming service in there, and Beatport link as well is going to be in there, so you have the choice.
Right, and I think that's where some people are, I don't know, confused or just curious to know where else does Beat Source come into play other than replacing DJcity, but Beat Source, you can stream music from Beat Source on the Denon mixer. And I'm sure on other platforms in future. Right.
Yeah,
but right now announced is Denon DJ, and there will be a point in the next 3 to 5 years where most DJs will walk into the club and they'll log into the players, and you'll have maybe your personal cloud with your own edits and stuff in there, and you'll have your Beat Source account, maybe your Beatport one as well if you play some house, and that's it.
Yeah,
right. You will literally carry your headphones in the club and you'll log in to the cloud, and that will be on the players. No laptops, no nothing. You'll just log in.
The future of DJing.
That is within 3 to 5 years. That's
wow. And Beat Source just announced that link and everything else that's going on. So definitely go check them out. It's there right now. Like you can do it on the Denon players right now. You can do Tidal. That works. And for some reasons, like Tidal's kind of better than Spotify for DJing because you can get a better quality version from Tidal. Right.
And I find there's a bit less on Tidal, but that's kind of good. I mean, the beauty of what we're planning to do with Beat Source is curation.
Yep.
You don't need 47 million tracks. You need 5 million good tracks. Like that. You don't need all these karaoke versions of Justin Bieber and stuff like that. Stuff is not going to help you as a DJ.
That shit works.
It's those dodgy like cover versions and stuff. You don't need all that, right? You need curation. You need to be able to get the hit, like what DJcity is. You need to be able to get the hits, the bangers, the stuff that's popping off right now. Like you need to go to that Afrobeats playlist and know that is the Afrobeats that is popping right now. I can play that playlist, anything from that crate, and I'm good. And so you can literally do that with Tidal right now. You can pop in, just play on the Denons. You need Wi-Fi or, wired networking in the club to do it. And that's why I say 3 to 5 years, because you need that infrastructure.
You have to trust the club's Wi-Fi.
We might need 5G phones. We might, we'll see how it goes, but that will get to the, right now, kids growing up, all they know is streaming, Netflix, Hulu, Spotify. That's what Apple my kids think music comes from Spotify. Like that's on an iPad. That's literally where music comes from for them.
What if you have your own custom edits? I think a lot of DJs are becoming more hip to making.
Well, that's why my belief is that you will always need your personal cloud as well.
Yeah.
And I think a smart thing to do would be for one of these gear manufacturers to make, when you buy the device, you get a gigabyte of 10 gigabytes of personal cloud as well.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things with being a DJ. It's not just about buying records and building that collection of stuff that everyone else has. It's about those exclusives. It's about your dub plates and stuff like that. I'm kind of really into that kind of culture of like dub plates and stuff. I want more dub plates. Anyone's got dubs, please hook me up. Connections. Yeah, I'm doing this. Yeah, I'll do the shout out thing now. Yeah. Dub plate people. I need dubs. I just love having dope exclusive tracks. And so that's always going to be the case. You're not going to be as defined by your collection of, I've got all these pop hits, because everyone's got access to those on the streaming. But where's those custom edits, your own stuff, the stuff that your buddies have done for you? You'll still need access to that.
Yeah,
so
of course.
I think that there will be a personal cloud thing in there as well. But as for the catalog, why would you need it when you can just log in and stream it? And you have your own playlist. You know, you still curate your own stuff. In Spotify, I've got however many playlists that I've built up of my own right now. And so, you're still going to have that, whatever service you use. So,
are you familiar with OnlyFans?
I've heard the name.
Is it fans only or OnlyFans?
It's OnlyFans.
I've heard it. What's that?
So, I mean, currently it's being used for terrible, whatever. It's a service and people need it, right? So girls will charge for exclusive content.
Oh, I've heard of this. Yeah, no, I've seen it like on Twitter. And
right,
stuff.
for like exclusive content for, for whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think we could be headed to where superstar DJs are going to offer their exclusive playlists and they can charge for that access on a monthly basis that they can stream from?
Charge who exactly? Other DJs or just listeners in general?
I'd pay $9.99 for Mojaxx's picks or edits.
No, you wouldn't, because those $10 are soon going to start to add up each different DJ that you follow each time. But no, in theory, yeah, absolutely.
All right, $9.99.
Who's to say they can't share with, if I have...
Well, yeah.
I can share with Rell.
Yeah, if you make a playlist, I'm for sure hitting you up and be like, hey, drop that on my cloud.
Yeah. But then, I mean, it will be tough because like Joe Miles just released a bunch of his personal edits, and one of his tweets was, now I got to go back in the lab and make more personal edits for myself because you guys have all my personal shit. So, what DJ is going to, top tier DJ is going to say, here are all my custom edits, which separates me from you guys, but I'm going to make a little extra money on the side.
I think like as a fashion designer, like to compare it, they can rock samples and they can rock things that aren't released. So as a producer or editor, you can make all these edits, play them out, and then after they ran their course for like a month or 2 months, right? Now you drop those to the public and here's access to my exclusive content. And then your next wave, it just follows through, right? Because music in general already, unless it's timeless edits, like they're not gonna, they might not live in your set forever.
But that's Bandcamp, though. That already exists.
Right.
You can already do subscriptions to people on Bandcamp. Right. DJ Woody, the British turntablist guy, he has a subscription thing. You get all this new stuff each time it comes out. And that's a great way of connecting directly with the artist and giving them money directly without going through any other intermediary. So that already, and actually you can stream your stuff on the Bandcamp app. You don't even need to download it. So that kind of exists right now. And so therefore to see that growing, I can completely imagine it, because I love Bandcamp. Where if I'm buying music, I'll always try and buy it there. Yeah. Because so much more of your money goes straight to the artist or to the label. That is definitely the best way. And you can choose the quality you want and everything else. And I really like Bandcamp as a way of, giving back to creators. I think it's really important.
I think it's funny that you say this, because, and it's actually a really fun conversation. It goes back to the question we proposed: whose crates would you, if you can pick a DJ's crates to hijack, like whose would it be? I'd also like to, I actually thought about that, and I'd like to add Dave Fogg to that list.
Oh, that's a great one.
Right?
I forgot about
Papa Fogg, right?
Papa Fogg.
Come on, he's breaking shit before you even hear it.
Oh my God.
Right.
And I'm just listening to Kaz play at Wood Tavern. Like, I'll take Kaz's shit too. Kaz got...
That's a huge...
And he was putting me on to some new shit, Cubaton, a combination of reggaeton and Cuban music. And plus, you obviously know about the Dembo, right?
Dembo, yeah.
Dembo, yeah. So, I mean, that's old to them, but he's like, dude, this Cubaton shit is about to take over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those two guys, for sure.
Yeah. I like how all music today is basically Dembo. Like 90% of what's popular right now, apart from trap, is just Dembo. Yeah. And I'm down with that, because that's like my kind of BPM. It's like my kind of vibe. Like, we're back up to that 90 to 110. That's my sweet spot. I can't get down with that 65 business.
You know what? This naturally wants to take me into where music's going, but I want to really save that conversation for part 2.
Okay.
Is there
get into it?
Is there no? Let's save it for part 2, because we're gonna separate them. Is there anything else to talk about with NAMM? Anything else you like to?
No, I mean, the rain. probably valid for the DJs who are watching this, right, is the Rane 70 is definitely, for my mind, it's a big step forward, because the 72 with the screen and stuff in the middle, I think my impression is that the guys behind Rane, they took over Rane, they wanted to come out all guns blazing, like fully.
Yeah. And
they threw everything at the 72. And I think for your average DJ, it's too much. It's over the top.
Like, it's kind of like when they release Tractor.
Yeah. It's, you can't, like I DJ fully sober all the time. I can't drink and DJ for whatever reason. I just freak out when I do. You know, and most of the DJs I know, all my buddies, they all have a beer or two when they DJ, and that's totally cool. But I'm completely sober, and there are times when I'm confused by that 72. I have no idea what's going on. I'm like, I'm layering up 3 effects here by mistake. I don't know how I'm doing it. How do I turn it off? Like, it's just a complex piece of machinery. It's too much for most DJs. The 70 is way more in line with like a S9.
Okay.
But with the stuff that you didn't like about the S9, like the fact you can't use 2 separate pad modes on the S9 on each deck.
Gotcha.
Like with the 70, you can choose different pad modes on each side.
Yep.
And it's just those little things. It's for me, to be honest, like the 2-channel mixer I take out at the moment still, I have the 72 and the S9, and the S9 is the one that comes out with me.
Sure.
Because even though the phono preamps are nowhere near as good as the Rane, like the 72 is just too much. Mm-hmm. And so I think the 70 will, I'm sure they'll take back the 72. I'll have a 70 instead, and that'll be the one I start taking out to gigs.
Let me ask you this real quick. I heard Zach say, 4Color Zach saying I think the Pioneer 900 mixer sounds better than the S9.
Yeah.
Have you? Do you feel the same way about that
Nexus
too? 900 Nexus 2.
Yeah, because it came later.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing with Pioneer you can always rely on, is that their quality improves over time. Like technology, we're in the digital world now. All these mixers we're talking about are basically just digital things. They're not analog in the way they used to be. And yeah, their technology has got better. The analog to digital conversion in the 900 Nexus 2 is better. The phono preamps are better. It's just, overall, it's a better mixer. But there's something about that S9 that's really easy to use. If you're drunk or lazy, you can definitely work at S9. Like, it's not anyone can work at S9.
Right.
You know, including myself quite happily. So I think that, you know, even the 900 Nexus 2, like I've been going around with Latin Prince, shout out Latin Prince. Like he's like hates the 900 mixers. He can't stand them because all that stuff's in weird places and there's no cue points and all that kind of stuff. He hates those. But for me, I grew up on those 4-channel Pioneers.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the first residency I had, we had some really dodgy old rack mount mixer for the first 6 months when I started. But then around about like 99, we got a DJM 500. And that thing was like a spaceship.
Yeah.
It was like, and everyone had that flanger.
Yeah.
The flanger effect. It just got used a million times a night.
Yeah.
Everyone on the flanger. But that feels the same as a 900 Nexus 2.
Right.
When you look at it, 4 channels, the crossfaders in the same place, the effects are in the same place.
Right.
They've added some stuff, they've taken some stuff away. But fundamentally, I've been using that same mixer for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And gone through all those generations of it. And so there's a lot to be said for the big 4-channel Pioneers and getting used to them and get to know them, because they are the club standard worldwide. Like if you find an S9 in the club, you're like happy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, I got an S9, that's dope. But like the club standard is the 900.
Do you think it would be more common if the sound card was better on the S9, that you would see it more often? I feel like, because I remember we were in Arizona and they like daisy chained the S9 to the 900.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a process
to just get it, you know, to make it sound.
The problem with the S9 is if you're not using Serato, or it does work with Record Box DVS as well, but if you're not using Serato, that's a lot of wasted mixer. You're paying for buttons you're never going to use. You're paying for pads you're never going to use.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas the 900 Nexus 2, you've got 4 channels. You've got a better, it's not necessarily a better mic situation, but it's a more accessible and kind of detailed mic section.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know, the S9 is always going to be like seen as a battle mixer. It's not a club install mixer.
Yeah, because
it wasn't really designed to be a club install mixer. They have a mixer for that. It's the 900 Nexus 2. So yeah, I think it's funny because the phono preamps in the S9 are really not very good. And I play with a lot of 45 heads. They all use an S9, even though the phono preamps are kind of bad and it makes their record sound kind of bad.
Yeah.
But it's so nice to use it with turntables. It just sits right there and it's real comfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why I think the 70 will be, in many respects a superior one. And the S9 is old. It's like 3 years old.
Yeah.
I just
maybe
like
even
the faders
longer
on the reins better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I've come to really like enjoy the 900 Nexus.
Absolutely. But like you said, it's old because you're used to it now.
Yeah.
You're accustomed to it.
And I finally had an SP1. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When you're using the big 4 channels, you do need to bring an SP1 or the new XP2 or something like that.
Yeah.
Unless you want to be riding those keyboard shortcuts all night, which that's a bit old school right now. Like I used to do that back. I still have the keyboard shortcut thing.
Yeah.
Like the cover on the keys.
Yeah.
Because that's like, but most of them are muscle memory by now. Like edit the grid. It's like Control V. I don't even know, but I could do it.
It's a little tougher on that new laptop too, because it's the keys are like
the flat one. I'm struggling when I'm using that. I'm like, man,
just press them all.
Well, I'm Windows now, so you know.
Why? Let's talk about that.
Ooh.
Why?
Yeah.
No, that's strikingly interesting.
Well, basically, it's German company Schenker who make
They threw your bag.
audio. That's not how it works. They make a lot of gaming laptops and that kind of vibe, like that kind of stuff. And they also have this audio kind of division. They make audio laptops. And there's this guy, RK, he's like a mad technology DJ. Like he does VR things and like hooks up Ableton to 17 different things with Pro Tools and all. It does live visuals and madness, right? Just fully tech guy. And he's working with this company. He's like, let me send you this Windows machine, see what you think. And at the time, this is going back a year now, I was rocking my 2011 MacBook Pro.
Okay.
2011, that's an old laptop. Like, it doesn't even have USB 3 ports, let alone the new ports, right? It's old as hell. But it still works.
Right.
You know, because that's one thing you say for Macs. They last a long time, no doubt about it. But I'm looking at the new range of MacBook Pros and like the 2018, the 2019, 2017, all of those since the 2015 MacBook Pro, that was like the peak. And then they had that garbage new keyboard, that flat keyboard, which dies if you like get one crumb within about 20 feet of it. It's dead. It's done. Shut it down. Keyboard finished. Take your laptop to the Mac store and get a whole new top case because you've got one crumb 20 foot from your Z key. Bun that, seriously. So you know, I've always been an Apple guy. Like it's always been me. Like, I love it, but those keyboards were just dreadful. They had to extend the warranty on them and all that. They had to do all that, and so I was not looking to drop upwards of $2,000 on a machine, which is pretty much guaranteed to die at some point pretty soon. Like, that's not a good look, and I don't really want to spend $2,000 on a laptop to take to the club. That's going to get like beer thrown at it and just, you know, not like get drinks thrown at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in
we'll play better music. We won't have this problem.
It's in a pretty bad environment for a laptop. It's not in the best place, right? And that's a lot of money. Like, you can get insurance or whatever, but it's a lot of money to drop for a DJ laptop.
Are your laptops insured? Sorry, could you?
No.
Renter's insurance.
Out of it.
All right. I'm just curious.
It's
maybe we need to bring awareness.
It's a risky place to keep a laptop, right? So like I didn't want to spend that kind of money on it. And it was just like, okay, this is a perfect time. So now is the time I'll try this Windows machine. And I really hate Windows. Yeah. Like my last time using Windows properly was like Windows XP days, like long time ago.
Yeah. The good old days.
And I still hate Windows. Can't lie. Like it's ugly as sin. Like you want to slap the ugly out of it.
What else do you not like about Windows?
It's clunky. Like it's got all this like extra stuff on the top to make it look nice. But as soon as you go like right click 3 times, you right click 3 times into a menu and suddenly you're back in Windows XP again. And it's like, this is not working. But here's the crucial factor. Once you've got Serato open full screen, you can't tell the difference. You cannot. Like it's your Serato box, you know? And I've always been very stringent on having a DJ laptop. I do not think you should be like keeping your family photos on your DJ laptop. I don't think you should be running a business from your DJ laptop. Your DJ laptop should be your DJ laptop.
Shouldn't have OnlyFans on your DJ laptop.
Yeah, exactly. You know, don't be rocking your social media business on there. Keep that to yourself. So, yeah. And so for me, once that win, and it's, you know, it's like 1,500 euros. So maybe what, $1,700, something like that. It's got one super fast SSD, like 256. Then it's got a terabyte SSD. I can replace that. I can upgrade the RAM. Like you can't do any of that with a new recent Mac. Cannot get into it at all. And so I've used it for pretty much a year, and I'm totally happy with it. But here's the kicker now is I have a 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro, which I got for video editing on the road, because that machine, the Windows machine's got like the standard built-in graphics. It can't handle video. It's not designed for this. Literally, it's in the name. It's called the Audio Edition Slim or whatever. Like, it's not a video machine. So I've got this 2019 beautiful 16-inch MacBook Pro. It's lovely. I would never buy it for DJing. No way. I'll be Windows for DJing now. That's it. I'm there. Like, this new Mac works beautifully for DJing.
Yeah.
But it's the base model's $2,400 with a 500 gig drive in it. And obviously with streaming, maybe we're not going to need as much storage. That's going to go down. But still, it's mad money for this laptop. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's great for video editing, but for DJing, you don't need it. Serato runs great on this Windows machine that's about half the price.
Yeah.
And so I can't. So I'm going to stick to Windows for DJing. I really am. Like, latency's there. Like, it's pretty much on point with the Macs. Like, Macs have always had really good audio side, like the audio drivers, the core audio stuff's always been really good. But I've not had any issues with drivers. I've had not a single crash in a whole year. And as I say, I've used a laptop and Serato more this year than I have in the last 3 years, probably combined.
Yeah.
And this laptop has been 100% stable for me. The graphics in Windows are ugly. Like, it doesn't scale very well and all that kind of stuff. But again, once you've got Serato open or Recordbox open, who cares? Like, full screen, you don't notice the difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was honestly like pretty surprised about that. The problem is though, with Windows, I can't, unlike with a Mac, I can't say this is the laptop you should buy, because that's a German company. I don't think they're that hard, that easy to get hold of in the US. So which laptop, which PC, Windows machine do I recommend for US buyers? I don't know, because I haven't tried any of the 765 million Windows laptops that are available at Best Buy right now. Yeah. So that's where it becomes tricky. And I need to review more. Like, I need to get some really mainstream ones like Dell and HP and stuff like that and test them out. Because there have been issues with Windows in the past. Like, I think traditionally Serato's performed better on Mac than it has on Windows. I think. Not been a Windows user before, but that's the impression I've got. So I'm still testing. I'm still trying to figure out this landscape. Like, maybe the Microsoft laptops, they've got those Surface laptops. Maybe that's the next thing to test.
Right.
Because you can get them worldwide.
Right.
If I can co-sign
the Surface,
those.
The small ones are like the
no, they do like one that's called the Surface laptop.
Thin, right?
It's thin. Yeah, it's just a nice laptop basically made by Microsoft. So
I'm thinking of weight too. Like, you have to factor in what you got, you're carrying around. How much?
Yeah. I mean, the 16-inch one is really great, but it's big and it's heavy.
Right.
And it is a lovely machine. The Retina screens are beautiful, and it's got a proper keyboard again. They've gone back to the old design of keyboard on this latest model. So I figure they'll probably redesign the whole range next year and have the old keyboard back again, which is great. I'm living that dongle life now with that one as well. So everything's got to have a dongle or a USB-C cable or whatever. And you can get good cables, but it's just another thing to think about. Like, this Windows machine's got 2 regular USB ports on it, as well as a USB-C. So I can just rock up any old cable, boom, in it goes. So if you'd have asked me in 2018, would I be saying that at the end of 2019? I would not have thought so in a million years. But I'm really happy with it. So Windows.
It's all about perspective, huh?
Don't be scared of Windows. It might be the time.
All right. Well, that does it for part one.
Part one of this. Part two, we're going to get into a little bit more of what Mojaxx does. We're going to get into a little bit of his history, how he came about with DJcity, and we're going to get into some UK music as well, because we over here think us three think it's really cool, but I don't know if
I didn't know what you were going to say then. I thought you were going to say something.
We think it's shit.
Really shit.
No, I'm kidding. But no, I think UK. I don't know if UK gets the respect it deserves in America. But I love to get into it. We love to get into it. So yeah, that wraps it up for episode 30.
Yeah.
Peace.